Welcome to Proudly Asian, a podcast series that tells bold and proud stories of Asians by Asians. My name is Isabel, your podcast host, and I'm here to find stories that challenge biases we face every day. There's never just one way to look at Asians. This podcast will take you through a deep dive into the life stories, struggles, and triumphs of young Asians around the world. Hello, friends of Proudly Asian. Welcome back. And it's lovely to see you all again. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you'll see that we are back at our regular set. So it's lovely to be back after the holidays. I know that it's been a while since we last released a podcast episode. So here I would like to wish you all a happy belated New Year. I know it's pretty late, but it's still the first month of the year, so I guess that still counts. But that brings me to say, I know that the first month of the year is almost over, so I hope that 2024 is still going well for all of you. Because over the holidays, when I was looking at friends and family's New Year messages, there's this sense that 2023 was not a great year for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. So if that was also the case for you, I hope you managed to get some rest over the holidays to recover what seemed like a long and daunting year. Take all the time you need, and if you don't think you have recovered from 2023 just yet, that's okay. Take your time. It was a tiring year for a lot of people. Wait until you're ready because everyone has their own pace and schedule, and it's okay to move at your pace. But other than that, today I also have a special message for each and every one of you, because today, January 25th, is Proudly Asian's second anniversary. Oh my God, how crazy is that? It's been 2 years since we started Proudly Asian. We have been doing this for 365 days times 2. And now we are actually heading into the third year of doing Proudly Asian. For those of you who've been around, you would also know that the initial goal that we set for ourselves initially when we first launched Proudly Asian was to put out 5 episodes. Just 5 episodes. But now if you look at our podcast pages, you will see that we are 80 episodes in and we are still going, still growing. So very thankful for that. Without your support, without your constant encouragement over on social media, and also all the messages over the past 2 years, I don't think we would have gone this far. So I know that 2 years did not seem like a very long time, but looking back, we also shared a lot of special moments on Proudly Asian together. You know, the first time that we were featured on Apple Podcasts on their US homepage, which I literally cried when I found out the morning when someone tagged us on a post on social media. And then I was just really trying to figure out what's going on. Why is Proudly Asian's logo on some pages that I had no idea where that was, but eventually that became clear to me that it was Apple Podcasts US homepage. So thank you so much to Apple Podcasts and also all our listeners in the US for your support. It's just surreal to be thinking that within 3 months of launch, that was one of the first major milestones and achievements that we got as a newly launched podcast. And also other special moments, there would be, I guess, the first time that we were handpicked by Spotify to be featured on one of their collections or pages. And then also the first time that we got our own carousel feature on Apple Podcasts, which meant that we were not part of some of their curated collections, but like our logo, our banner was front and center on the homepage of Apple Podcasts. That was insane. And we also had our first time of being nominated for the Best Asian Hosted Podcast at People's Choice Podcast Awards. And also, what else? Also, the first time that we did IG Live collaboration with our creator and podcaster friends. That was so fun, and it was so lovely to be interacting with some of you live. So hopefully, maybe in the future, we can do a little bit more of that. And also the first time our listeners bought us a coffee, and many, many more special moments. I mean, frankly, every moment that we get to work on Proudly Asian, interact with you guys, speak to our podcast guests, getting to know more about their stories and feeling so inspired by their stories. Those are all very special moments for us, and we never take that for granted. So, I mean, it might be cliche to say, but every moment that we work on Proudly Asian is just so special. And we're just so grateful that we have come as far as we have. And we can't stress this enough. Thank you to all of you for sticking around and listening to us and giving your words of encouragement. And I'm really excited about what 2024 has in store for us. And I look forward to celebrating more first times, more firsts with all of you. So now you might ask, Isabel, when are you going to bring back the regular episodes of Proudly Asian? So on that, the brand new season 5 of Proudly Asian will officially kick off on February 6th, which is a Tuesday, or it could be February 5th, a Monday, depending on where you're based. So this coming season, we will be doing something new in the sense of like when it comes to releasing new episodes, we will be doing that every other week as opposed to our usual schedule, which was every week. And that's not because we are becoming lazier, but quite the opposite. Because in 2024, one of the promises that we make for Proudly Asian or even for ourselves is to be more conscious, conscious of the time that we spend, who we spend that with, what we spend that on, and how we spend it. And that also means we want to be more conscious about the content that we put out. We want to spend more time to make the conscious effort to experiment with new ways to engage with you guys. So for example, that could mean experimenting with new content formats beyond the podcast. We also want to spend more time connecting with guests and getting to know a little bit more about them before we start recording with them. We also want more time to do the research for each episode. So that's why we want to have, a little bit of that flexibility. That's why we're releasing every other week. But in the future, is this going to be the schedule that we're going to stick to? I would say no. If at some point we feel it's right, that's when we'll bring back the weekly schedule. But this is just a tiny experiment that we're going to be doing in the upcoming season. So we don't know. If that means there will be more time for you guys to really listen closely to each episode, I think that will do more good than harm. So while we'll be putting out a new episode every other week, that doesn't mean that you'll be hearing less from us, but you might actually be seeing more of us on social media and different mediums. So stay tuned for what's ahead, and we seriously can't wait to let you all know about all the mini secret projects that we have been working on. In fact, we also released one of the newer experiments that we've been doing over the holidays, which is our New Year's message on Instagram. Because the theme of 2024 for us as Proudly Asian and also for myself personally is to just do it. Like free of worries, free of thinking what others will think, and just do it. And for those who don't follow us on Instagram, what I was referring to just now is the 2024 to-do list for Proudly Asian that we put out in the form of illustrations. And that was frankly my first time doing digital paintings or digital illustrations seriously. And I know that it's by no means perfect, but that is the point. No one is perfect, and we don't have to wait until we're perfect to put ourselves out there. And that's really one of the promises that we made to ourselves in 2024. I mean, I did not go to art school and I don't know how to draw straight lines. But the thing is, why do we really have to follow existing rules when it comes to artworks? So that's something that we would like to experiment with. We want to try out a little bit more in the year to come. But we are sending the message loud and clear. In 2024, in order to be proudly Asian, we need to prioritize ourselves. I know it's easier said than done, and in our Asian cultures, we really do value putting others before ourselves. But that's exactly when we unknowingly start living other people's emergencies, and we start to not see our own needs. And in a way, we get so burnt out from, servicing other people and offering ourselves and offering our help and our time, our energy to other people without actually taking stock of whether or not we have any energy and time left for ourselves. But my fellow friends of Proudly Asian, here's a challenge for you in 2024. Whenever someone asks you for help, asks you to maybe hang out or demands your attention, before you say yes and fully engage, try to ask yourself these questions. How do I feel right now? And how will saying yes make me feel? And really listen carefully and seriously to your own thoughts without interrupting with how you should be feeling or what you should be doing to any of those given situation. And if your responses and if the first thoughts that pop up is going to be kind of like a no or negative, then ask for more time or tell the person that this is not the right time. Ask them to wait. This doesn't mean you are saying no. It doesn't mean you're being rude. You're not really rejecting them, but you're simply asking for more time or just, letting them know that you can do this another time, but just not right now. And at the same time, by doing so, you're also making sure that when you finally have the time and energy to help them out or to spend time with them, they will be getting 100% of your attention and commitment. Another item on the to-do list for 2024 for Proudly Asian is there's no more playing small. Be you and be what you want to be. And even if that means you're going to be too much for some people, so be it. Because what is the definition of too much? And basically the concept of too much only really shows other people's limits rather than yours. And you only live this life once. So make sure that you have no regrets and you owe it to yourself to live a great life according to your own standards. And before we go, I just want to leave you with one more to do or to not do item from Proudly Asian's to-do list for 2024, which is do not over-explain yourself. Be proud of everything that makes up who you are. Be confident about your values and your actions and behaviors, even if they don't fit in the so-called norm. I don't know if this happens to you at all, but have you ever found yourself in a place where you're surrounded by people who had completely different upbringing or like backgrounds to you, and then they decide to tell you that you're the weird one, your behaviors are not normal, and some of them might actually go as far as explaining your behaviors to others based on their limited knowledge about you before you even get to speak for yourself. For example, they would go like, oh yeah, she behaves that way because she was XYZ and she went through this and that, despite they are actually not the truth. While we don't need to over-explain ourselves and dilute our identities so they are a lot easier for people to understand, we also shouldn't let people explain our behaviors for us because they don't really know anything about our upbringing. They don't know anything about us. They did not walk our path. They did not share the same kind of upbringing as us. So, frankly, in 2024, this needs to stop. We need to stop interpreting other people's actions and behaviors through our limited knowledge. We need to be comfortable with the fact that we just don't know everything. We have not seen everything that exists in this world. I think the other day I was just having a conversation with a friend, and she was basically highlighting to me that, having worked in Asia for a little while, she realized that a lot of her colleagues are actually not comfortable asking questions because I think according to Asian standards and values, asking questions means you're weak, means you don't know anything. But simply asking questions is a way to communicate, to get everyone on the same page and to probably clarify something that's important that everyone should be getting on the same page about. So, we should feel proud about the way that we are, but at the same time, stop expecting other people to act or behave the same way that we would. We aren't robots, so there's never just one user manual. And for us to move forward collectively, we need to support and empower each other. And that also means we need to spend more time and energy on doing good rather than continuing fueling biases and assumptions and also judgment. But as long as bias and toxic expectations still exist, unfortunately, we'll still need to retain a little bit of fight in us to keep pushing the boundaries, even within our own communities, our own cultures, among fellow Asians. But with that marks the second anniversary of Proudly Asian, and we'll be back with a brand new season of Proudly Asian on February 6th. Make sure you follow us on social media. We are quite active on Instagram and we're always producing exclusive content there. So make sure that you check us out on Instagram at proudly.asian. We're also on YouTube. Check us out. Subscribe to our channel. We will have a lot of episodes in video format as well as episode highlights from the previous seasons uploaded there. Just search Proudly Asian Podcast on YouTube and you'll be able to find us. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Okay, that's it for now. And stay tuned for our brand new season and take care. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. That's it for this episode of Proudly Asian. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at proudly.asian for more content. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in and signing off for now. I'm Isabel Wong.